My dear viewers, hello and welcome to a special edition covering the 73rd anniversary of the Police Day. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have attended today, Wednesday, a celebration marking the 73rd anniversary of Police Day. During the celebrations at the Police Academy headquarters in the new administrative capital, President al-Sisi laid a wreath of flowers at Police Martyrs Memorial. The President honored families of police martyrs and bestowed the State Merit of Honor for the names of some martyrs in appreciation to their precious sacrifices for the sake of the nation. More in the following report.
Every year on January 25th, Egypt observes Police Day, a national holiday that commemorates the bravery and sacrifice of Egyptian police officers who stood firm against British forces in Ismailia on this day in 1952. The event honors the 50 officers who lost their lives and the many others wounded when they refused British demands to disarm and evacuate their police stations. In the month leading up to the confrontation, tensions between Egyptians and the British occupiers had escalated. The armed resistance against British camps inflicted heavy losses while local suppliers ceased delivering provisions to the 80,000 British troops stationed in the region. Additionally, over 91,000 Egyptian workers resigned from their positions in British camps between October 16th and November 30th, 1951, after the government invited them to register their names for resignation. As the British forces found themselves increasingly isolated, the British commander Kenneth Exham issued an ultimatum to the Egyptian police in Ismailia demanding they leave the city and surrender their weapons. Despite being outnumbered and armed with only shotguns, approximately 800 Egyptian police officers and soldiers courageously resisted an overwhelming British force of 7,000 troops equipped with tanks and machine guns. The brutal clashes ended with surviving officers being captured by British forces. In retaliation, British troops destroyed nearby villages and targeted civilians. The incident ignited widespread anti-British protests across Egypt and became a turning point that ultimately paved the way for the 1952 revolution 6 months later. Following the revolution, January 25th was designated as Police Day to honor the heroism and sacrifices of the Egyptian police. Initially celebrated with marches, demonstrations, and a symbolic speedboat parade on the Nile, Police Day was officially declared a national holiday in 2009. On this day, banks and government offices close and the nation comes together to recognize the vital role of police in ensuring security, stability, and public safety. Police Day stands as a symbol of patriotism, resilience, and the enduring bond between police and the Egyptian people. It serves as a reminder of the sacrifices made for the nation's independence and the ongoing commitment of law enforcement to uphold justice and protect the homeland.
Welcome back. To shed more light on the occasion of the 73rd anniversary of the Police Day, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, General Ehab, Youssef, security expert. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am, and it's a great pleasure to be with you in this very special day for Egypt.
Thank you so much. It's also our pleasure. General Youssef, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have attended today the celebration that took place in the new administrative capital, and he delivered a speech during which he said that he appreciated the sacrifices, and all Egypt have appreciated the sacrifices that were done by the police officers and saluted the martyrs. How did you follow the statement and the speech by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi today?
Let me first, if you allow me, to welcome all your guests and to really appreciate this day, which shows a lot of pride dignity for all Egyptians. It's one of the national days in Egypt where we celebrate one of the very unique sacrifices that the police have done in 1952 and onwards. The sacrifices from the police forces has never been stopped, and they always are trying to do their best to secure our country, to make our people feel secured, and to make the country able to attract a lot of investors and to appreciate what the country is doing in the way of success. The president has usually attend this very special event for the police to salute the martyrs, to recognize the people who got injuries in operation, and to show support as the leader of the country to the police forces in what they're doing to stabilize the Egyptian nation from the security point of view. The speech of the president today has focused on the relation that has to be always contained between the people, police, and the army, which is this triangle is very important. And if you have, I'm sure that you followed the videos that has been showed and the speeches from the Minister of Interior and from the President as well. They have been always talking about the unity between these three angles of the nation: the people, who comes first, the army and the police, to be able to combat any threats that come to our country all over the history and ongoing. As everybody knows now, Egypt is under the focus of a lot of conspiracy theories, and each one of us has a big role to do, and we put our police forces in the front to stabilize our national security in the inner part of the country.
Yes. Also, the President today, during the celebration of the 73rd anniversary of the Police Day, have honored a number of martyrs and the families, and also have honored a number of police officers. Also, how did you follow this?
Yes, it's, as usual, it's the recognition for the people who are doing great effort on their service is a tradition that happens every year to, one, recognize their efforts in securing the country, two, to give a positive perspective and to give encouragement for their colleagues to follow their steps in sacrificing for the nation and its security. And above all, as you mentioned, martyrs and their families has to be always recognized and saluted for their great sacrifices that they're doing. The martyr is one of our colleagues that has been in the front line trying to secure the country, and he faces this tragic end by sacrificing his life. And this is where the family has to come first to be recognized as well, because they put their family member on the front line, whether he's a father or a son or a brother on the front line, and they encourage them to continue doing their work and under the name of Allah to protect the country. And whenever they pass away, they are martyrs, they are shuhada, that we recognize them, we salute them, and we really, in every step we do, we take in our country, we recognize the efforts that they did to stabilize our national security.
Yes. What are the lessons that we learn as citizens from the sacrifices in this very special occasion, not only for the police but for the citizens of Egypt?
Yeah, as you can see, the people who are on the front line, whether we talk about the army or the police, they are sacrificing their life. So the least that we can do is to continue the steps by at least doing the best effort and work that we can do to be able to get the benefit of their sacrifice and make the country in a better condition, whether from the national, from the social or from the economic part. And on the other side, we have to continue doing what we have to do to make the country more stable. The third, and it's not the least, it's the most important, is to continue supporting these gentlemen and women on what they're doing. So the people has a lot of information that can help the police and the army to combat the terrorism attacks, to combat criminals, to combat organized crimes, and this is where the efforts of the people has to come to to maximize the benefit of what the police and the army are doing.
Yes.
With the information we receive from the people, the man of the street, whenever he see or suspect something, he has to always report it to the security agencies, and then they evaluate it, they take the action, and this might save a lot of lives, whether we talk about civilians or even the people in the police and the army.
Yes. Also, the sacrifices that we have witnessed from the police officers in Sinai combating terrorism, and the coordination that took place years ago between the army, the armed forces, and the police. Give us an idea about this, please.
Egypt has faced a lot of terrorist attacks, especially after 2013, where the Egyptians has revoluted and removed the Muslim Brotherhood from ruling the country after what they saw as from their dictatorship and what they try to do in changing the culture of Egypt since 2012 till 2013. So the Egyptians decided to remove them. Since then, they threatened us that they will do bombs, they will do terrorist attacks, they will make people in Egypt don't live safely. And the police forces and the army together, putting hand in hand, they took the decision that they will continue doing their remarkable role in protecting the people. And most of these attacks, though others happen in other countries, in other governorates in Egypt, but most of the attacks happen in Sinai, where we found civilians has passed away, military people, police, and even judges. And this put all the Egyptians in one line to combat the terrorist attacks. And thank God that we have now reached a much better position in a safe area that is existing now. And this gives the country as leadership and as the government to start developing this area for a better life for Sinai people and for any investor that would like to come to invest in this area.
Yes. General Youssef, if we go back to the year 1952 and remember the incident of the sacrifices that the police have made in this year in the Ismailia, in the police station in Ismailia, and the sacrifices that the police have made on this day by which it was chosen to be the police day. Give us an idea about the history of this day.
It's very important to remember this day and to continue mentioning it to the new generations that's coming, because the youth didn't attend and sometimes they didn't hear about this sacrifice and what happened that day. And it's very good on this day, on this occasion, to remind them or to bring to their attention how much people can sacrifice even with their life to secure the country, and to secure their pride as officers. What happened on that day, or even before, is that the Egyptians didn't want the British colony to still occupying the Suez Canal area, which is Ismailia, Said, and Suez. And they, the normal people, the civilians, started attacking the British soldiers, trying to enforce them to leave Egypt. And this is where the police and the people were cooperating together to the extent that the army forces from the British side went to the Ismailia district, the head of the security in Ismailia, and they tried to occupy it, asking the police officers and sergeants there to leave the building. They refused, though the level of weapons that they have was much less and much retarded from technology part than the army from the British side. But they still fought till the last bullet they had. A lot of martyrs has passed away, a lot of injuries have happened, to the extent that the leader of the British army that was surrounding the police district there saluted the army, the police officers and sergeants who were leaving this place after they finished all their weapons, and they recognized their strengths, their courage on what they did. And all of this was not away from the government in the center here. So these decisions were taken in cooperation between the people on the ground, the officers on the ground, and the head of the Ministry of Interior at that time, the Minister Fuad Basha Sirajuddin, who gave them the instructions or gave them at least the blessings to continue doing what they're doing. And this is a day where we have to recognize the leadership and the people on the ground as well, and their families and the civilians who were fighting for the freedom of the land of Egypt.
Yes. General Youssef, how can the Police Day and this occasion could serve as an opportunity to reflect the ethics of the Egyptian character and of the police officer in Egypt who defended his place, the police station or the building of the governorate at that time in 1952, and make use or benefit from this occasion and this memory in order to make the coming generation bear the responsibilities and also in accordance with the responsibilities for safeguarding the homeland?
This is a very important question. What we have to do here, and this is what's happening, maybe we need more of this, is how to deliver the message of the sacrifice, of the dignity, of the pride, from the older generation to the new generation, to make them feel that sacrificing even your life for your land, for your country, for your people is a very minor thing that anybody of us can do to make our country more stable. We have no other place to live in. This is our country. We have to protect it. We have to make sure that we maximize the benefit of security for our families, for our nation, and for the investors coming. And this is the message that has been always delivered on the 25th of January from the older generation to the new generation. The sacrifice, even by life, and to protect the pride, to protect the land, this is the most important thing. And at the same time, this doesn't mean that we have only to recognize these efforts on this day, but this is just a memorial day to stop and recognize where the leadership of the country come to the police place on such occasion, meet with the leadership of the Ministry of Interior, meet with the minister, and attended this event to show recognition, as you said, give medals to family of the martyrs, for the police officers and sergeants who did efforts during the year. This is like a celebrating day, but efforts never stop, and it's always continuous since ages and ages, since the police has been established in 18 something till now. But this remarkable day was very important because the level of equipment that the police had at the day was much less than the army from the British side, and continuing to defend their property, and the Ministry of Interior district there was kind of a pride that we have always to recognize. They would have left the place because they feel that they don't have weapons enough to combat the attack that's coming, but they decided to, even they die or they lose their last battle by losing their last bullet, to be able to show that they don't leave easy. They have to make the enemy face the hard work that they're doing, face the sacrifices, and have sacrifices from their side as well.
Yes. General Youssef, we have witnessed since President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi came to office, the police have witnessed a great leap. We found that there were a renovation that took place in the police stations. Now, if you go to any police station, you will find it completely new, renovated. The system is renewed and a completely new, coping with the international standards, the system of the digitalization also. Give us an idea about this development.
Development is the name of life. You have to always develop your capabilities. You have to develop your the material that you're using, and this is what's happening in the Ministry of Interior as part of the new generation that's coming. Technology is taking over now.
Yes.
So now digitalization is the key word that's happening. Every data for every citizen has to be digitalized. That means that you can track any data on the same social insurance number or the ID number, which carries all the data of the people. This is a long process that has started and will continue. Now you can ask for your ID to be delivered to your house without moving yourself, going to a police station. When you go to the police station, as you mentioned, you find it developed and in a better position than before. On another hand, dealing with prisoners has been developed on a way to make them develop and come back as good people to the society that can add value. All of these developments are happening on the parallel. This doesn't mean that we have reached the end, because the end is never there. As long as there is life, there is development. There is development from both sides. The criminals are trying to develop their capabilities, and the Ministry of Interior or people who work on law enforcement has to develop their capabilities much faster to be 1 or 2 steps ahead from the criminals. And this is what the Ministry of Interior is trying to do now, to be able to cope up and to make sure that they can protect the people in a better condition.
Yes, my last question, General Youssef, what are your expectations concerning the police system in Egypt on this special day? What would you like to say to the police?
Frankly speaking, there are no words enough to recognize the efforts that has been done from the police and the army during the last year. And as long as we're talking about the police day, so we have to mention them first. They are doing a great effort. Maybe the society needs more because of the threats and the risks that are around our country, and everybody knows how we are facing a lot of struggle from all the borders now, and a lot of risks that's coming to our country. But as the President said today, and as the Minister of Interior mentioned, being able to collaborate our efforts as people, police and army, this will make us always united and will never make a gap for criminals or for people who are trying to create uncertainty in the Egyptian society will ever take place. So with the efforts of the police, army and the people, I'm sure that we can do a great effort, and we can protect our country, and we can make a better future for our nation. And I believe that this is the job for our colleagues in the Ministry of Interior. On the other hand, and first we have to salute the martyrs, we have to recognize the families, and we have to congratulate the newcomers to the Ministry of Interior, the people who joined in the police academy a couple of months ago, because these guys who are coming to be in the front line in a couple of years, and we have to recognize their families also, who allow them or encourage them to join as police forces to combat any crime and to try to make our country feels better and make our society more stronger.
I thank you very much. I greet you, General Youssef, on this special day, and we greet all the police of Egypt on this special day. Thank you very much for your time, for your valuable information, General Ehab Youssef, the security expert. Well, with this, my dear viewers, we come to the end of this coverage in our special edition. My name is Alan Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.